We broke 15k this morning. It's a big number that is this morning. As I said yesterday to you, 15k for me is the line in the sand basically, and it's gone. It looks like death. It looks awful out there this morning. So I would urge a little bit of, if you're a scalper or whatever and you're trying to buy rather than short this, just be careful. Obviously this could be a massive low here and we could go back up, but for me, 15k is my line in the sand, as I said yesterday. I also said yesterday, right, that if this happened, exactly what's happened here. I said to you, let me just get rid of these. If we went up yesterday afternoon, but then tomorrow, like I was saying in here, wasn't I, that if by any chance we broke out yesterday, and then tomorrow's initial balance was in this area again, which would mean that we'd failed here. I did say to you that I did expect this 15k to go. I said if it comes back down again, highly likely this is going to go. So I was right about that. And the premise of that is, look, right, how many times have we retested this low and tried to hold it? 1, 2, 3, 4. And yesterday, you can see that yesterday is just a complete sort of trap. It was this move here is just completely failed and it's all reversed. Now, I tend to see that that's when you get proper moves through a level. When you've tried 3 or 4 times to keep this thing up, and then you have a proper go at it to get everybody on board, and then it just fails again. In this balance area this morning, when I saw this open up, I opened my computer up and my laptop up and saw this and realised where we were. I thought this morning we were going to break 15k. I really did. Have I made any money from it? Am I short? No. I haven't had a setup. I need a setup to get in. The market's probably, straight line again. Similar to this yesterday here, right? It was tough to get on board this. I didn't get a pullback. As you can see, it's just a straight line move again. I wanted us to go and take the trap highs out, pull back, and then I would have been long. Straight line move, didn't get on board. Now, probably the same is going to happen here again. Just a straight line move, straight down. But 15k is massive, guys. It really is. Huge, huge, huge. I said it yesterday loads of times to you. If we broke 15k, we were going to shit the bed. And here we are this morning with 300 points down. We've absolutely shit the bed. Would I like to try and buy this dip here? No way. It wouldn't be for me. I'm mega bearish now. You've got to be beneath this level. Until we reclaim this level, I can only see us auctioning lower. I would be bullish if we got back above 15k again, though, with a big reversal daily candle. But you've got to play what you see and trade what you see, haven't you? And for me, look at that. It looks horrendous out there. If you're short, you've done very well, like unbelievable. This was the initial balance candle for me. Obviously, some people will say that they're trying to use the 1 minute time frame, but for me, there's just not been an entry. It's just a straight line move. It's the same as this here yesterday. There's just, you just don't get an entry. It's frustrating. Like you think that you could be making money. You should be making money because the thing's going down and you're bearish, but if you haven't got an entry, then basically you've just got to stand aside. But well done to anybody who's short, by the way. Well done. Let's have a look who's in the room anyway. I'm going to keep this one short this morning, guys, by the way, because I said I was going to do that yesterday and it went on for like an hour and a half or something like that. I've got a bit of a bad throat and a bit of a cold, so I'm going to go and do a COVID test. Hopefully I haven't got it, but we'll see. So that's something for everybody to think about. It's one of them though, isn't it, right? You're all bearish. This is what I say about calling a market, right? Everybody in this room yesterday would have probably thought that daily chart looked like shite. Everybody. Have we had a setup to get short? No. And this is where these people that put plans out and charge you for them, I just don't think they add any value to me, because this is what that Northman used to do to me. Like, he'd call the moves right. I could call the moves right. I told you all yesterday that if we come back down here this morning and opened up, it would be highly likely we shit the bed. Do you all remember me saying that yesterday, right? I did say that. If we come back down again tomorrow and the opening range opens up and we're back into this level, after 5 or 6 tests, we're going to go through it, right? But I haven't made any money off it. But I could have put a plan out there with a nice coloured pencil on it saying this could happen, this could happen. If we go back down there, we're going to shit the bed. But I haven't had a trigger, I've not executed it, and I've not made any money. So I try and get this point across to everybody who's in the room all the time, because it's easy to call the market. It's very difficult to make money out of it on a consistent basis. That's the key. So I would say to all these people, like this is the whole point of like these plans. Most people can work out where the market's going to be, from a probability side, going to be more likely to go to. Like, because we all can see like price action and where it could be heading. It does not mean that you have, like you can make any money out of it. That's the most tough bit. They're the bits that people don't like you seeing, their execution. Put a stop in, put an entry in. They don't want to give you that. But most people can draw a plan out and say, oh, I expect it to go back down here. I said that yesterday. It doesn't mean that you should be paying me any money to give you that information, because it doesn't mean that it will make you any money. So, yeah. Bitcoin video isn't in the list. Right, cute boy. So I had a problem with that, dude. The Bitcoin video got taken down because it wasn't actually the proper Bitcoin video. I was streaming live, but I was supposed to be recording. So that's why, dude. I'm sorry to say. I was meant to press record and I pressed stream. So what you actually saw wasn't the full in-depth video that I would like you to see. Because it was just an edit. It was just my first go at making a recording. And I pressed live stream. So people were on the stream thinking I was doing a live stream. And I was actually recording. So I apologise for that. Hopefully, pal. Hopefully we'll get one, Nick. Hopefully. I do hope I get one. Got to take it. Got to see what happens. Just looking for a pullback now to obviously load the boat. I'm glad we broke 15k though. That is positive to me. It means that the volatility is going to stay with us for this week. I just didn't want us to float back up there to like 15.5 and then just stay in that stupid range that we've been in. So hopefully it'll be good. What do you think about preempting moves like today, using lower position size? If you were wrong, then fine. If right, then massive off. Yeah, Aldershot, Egyptian Trader Morning. I would suggest that whatever you're doing, Aldershot, whatever you're doing, whether you're trying to preempt moves like this or whether you're trying to just trade the direction of them as they happen, as long as you use a risk-reward profile that suits what you're doing and you've got some sort of, historic backtest that you can do, which would, make you think that you could be right 50% of the time and you've got a 2 or 3 to 1 risk-reward set on it, then go for it, pal. I don't trade like that. That's not something that I would do. But if you think that that's something that resonates with you, go for it. You can earn money in a million ways from these markets. There's so many different ways that you can sort of try and gain an edge from it, and you might feel that you can preempt these types of moves like that. I would suggest though that if you pull up a chart here, the problem with this is it's all sort of happened overnight for me. But I would be looking at this level here, getting broken to the upside yesterday, this point, and I'm thinking to myself, right, so forget this price action here where my mouse is, all of this bit from 2:30 this morning. If this market's bottomed here, then this level here, this level has to hold. It has to. If it doesn't hold, you've got a big problem. I call this like, I think Mark Wogan said it the other day, that on a smaller time frame, you'd be calling it a roof test. It's a big level to the market. You can see it's sort of like a pivot, and you go through it, with a highly volatile, high speed move, straight green candle on the retest of this. And I know it happened overnight at 2:30, but once you lose this level here in this area where you've seen this sort of consolidation and someone's obviously trying to control the market, once this fails and on this retest they don't control the market and punt it that way, It's highly, highly likely that this shits the bed. Highly likely. I don't think there's any more of a high probability trade than it. But the problem that you had was, it all happened overnight. Now, if this was happening on like a 1 minute or a 5 minute time frame, it's highly likely that this is going to get continuation, because from a technical perspective, right, at this point here, it's make or break. You're either going to get the reversal or you're not, and it's going to continue. This trend here is then going to continue. So you can see it's like technically so pure, it's unbelievable. It's really good to see. But you get the breakout, and then the breakout fails to hold. And at that point there, everybody that's brought this breakout here expecting this to go this way, they wake up this morning, they know that they're underwater. So what do they have to do? Everybody was buying yesterday, had to sell to get out of the position. They think it's highly likely that this is going to shit the bed. They've got to get out. And what that does is then it obviously propels the market lower. So it's a basic trap setup really, but it's just technically so pure, it's unbelievable. If this level holds here, you know, you're going to get like a pin into that level, and then you're going to flow to the upside this morning. What happened overnight is we lost the level, and then we woke up and people have just puked it and thought, I'm getting out. I think it's like technically a thing of beauty really. I love watching it. I love seeing these types of things happen in the market, how they sort of auction through these areas, and it's really good to see, really good from a technical perspective. Might win it on YouTube. He posts videos in which he slams supposed entrepreneurs selling courses besides trading DAX. Perhaps you can be his equivalent in the trading guru space. Yeah, I like somebody called CoffeeZilla Spiritual. He's good. He sort of, I think he's got like nearly 1 million subs on YouTube or something, right? But he sort of reviews all of like, you know, like the Grant Cardone type of characters that are on YouTube that are selling like some sort of drop shipping service or like some property guru service that's, you know, gonna make you millions. His name's CoffeeZilla. He's only a young lad. He's very, very good. I think he's dead funny. And what he does is he subscribes to the bullshit, and then he's like a little he's like a guru Trojan horse, and then he sort of like tells you all the inner workings of what's going on and how they're scamming people. He's very funny. I like him. How are you short the retest of 15k now? We might not get a chance to, Hassan. It's highly probable today that we won't get a short on. We'll have to see. On days like today, you just get a straight down move. Hopefully, though, you don't normally get a straight down move into the US session. A lot of the time, you can just get a consolidate, and you will get a pullback into that area. It might not be the pullback that you want, though. This is the problem, right? Perfectly for me this morning, I'd want to pull back into here. Is to create some structure, like an inverse head and shoulders, or a, you know, like a pennant or something. I would then like bulls to think that the low's in, and them to buy the breakout of that inverse head and shoulders on that right shoulder, and then I would like it to fail. That for me is the perfect holy grail setup of my strategy. And then it to break the lows where you think their stops are. If that happens, that for me would be lovely. But we might just not do it. We might just go straight down. So, and I might end up having to sell the low. Will I have to do that if that happens on a day like today? I probably will do, yeah. I probably will do. But for me, I would like a pullback. A bigger pullback. Might not get it though. And this is trading, right? Yesterday I didn't get one, which meant I couldn't get long. Even though I knew yesterday that breakout was probably going to go higher than it should have done, and push on higher than what most people thought. I did think it would do, and I was sat here watching it happen, and I couldn't get long because the setup just wasn't there. But on days when that happens and the setup's not there, and I don't get my setup, I'll end up saving money because I won't get involved and I won't be stopped out. Morning, Trader Zed. Where have you been on holiday, pal? Anywhere nice? Let us know. Love talking about holidays and stuff like that. It's all good. Bit of positivity on this Wednesday morning as the DAX breaks 15k. Is the end over though, guys? Is it the end of the bull? Is it? it looks like it could be if this carries on. And I know that's like saying, oh well, if we go lower, we're likely to go lower, but it does look like it could be. This is important. This week is. It really is. Honestly, if they don't close this back above this line here and pin this up and get the close on, I would suggest we're highly likely to auction down and see what's beneath this level. It just looks like a top, doesn't it? It really does. Like it, it really does. I don't think you could have a more perfect looking top. But I don't think these pesky central bankers and these bulls are going to lie down and just take this. I don't know. You went to Dubai for 2 weeks. Oh man, Trader said, I love Dubai. I love Dubai. I've been there quite a few times, to be fair. It's good, isn't it? What a place. What a place. Lucky, very lucky. So I assume you've been jabbed, Trader Ed. We won't get into the vaccination talk, but have you been jabbed then? Because you have to... If for me to go there at the moment, I'd have to quarantine for 8 days when I get back. So that's why I'm not been looking to go. Whereabouts did you stay, dude? Somewhere in the Ballers Palace. 5-star all the way. The Waldorfs are nice in Dubai. I spent my 30th birthday in Dubai, racing around the Abu Dhabi F1 track in an Aston Martin. That was amazing. The missus got at me for my 30th birthday while we were over there, because I was 30 while we were actually over there. It was really good. One of the best things I've ever done. Loved it. Closest I've ever been to an Aston Martin though, guys. We're not Astro here. Let's get back onto the 5 minute. No, there's nothing for me here still. Nothing. Dave, I think so too, Dave. I really do. There's something about this sell-off. It's gone under the radar, I think. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, normally, everybody's dead bearish straight away. This is what I'm seeing on Twitter, right? And I use it as a bit of a market gauge. I don't trade off it or anything like that, but I've noticed with this DAX sell-off, everybody just thinks that it's going to be automatically brought back up. Everybody. It's just like, oh, it'll be okay because it always comes back up. Normally, on all of these big drops, it's like everybody's losing the plot. Everybody on Twitter's like, oh my god, it's over. And I just think this run here has conditioned people to just think that every time a low gets broken, we go back up. And I think that's what's happened to people. People are just thinking, oh, it's fine, it'll be fine, it'll come back up. The central bankers will deal with it. They'll spend some more money, but it's so quiet out there. I think it would worry me. Like, I think this might be the one that does take us down. They need to save 15k. That is a definite, and they need to do it fast. So it's all about Friday's close for me. Where are we on Friday? Now they could come and get the bazooka out, couldn't they, and spray some more money at it, and it would probably get us back above 15k. But can they? Have they got the reasons to? Is the coronavirus still causing, economic damage to the point where they can just get it out and go crazy again? I don't know if they can. I don't know if it would be acceptable. The Americans are finding it hard to get what they need through for the next load, fiscally like. They probably will do it, but I don't know if that will take us back above 15k. It's already known, isn't it? It's already all like digested. It's old news, that is now. So even if they do it, will that push us back up? I don't think it will do. It's sort of like old news. Could they release something new out? Some sort of like new green credit system where they're going to give people money directly into the bank accounts again? Well, then you've got a problem, because then that pushes all of the inflationary measures up. And all the governments are getting in trouble now because obviously everybody's getting so pissed off because everything's costing so much money. So would that be a responsible thing to do? I don't think it would. It's a tough one. It really is. But it does look like the top's in. I will say that. Oh, right. You stayed in Sean Lee's place. Sean Lee's palace. Where did you stay, dude? I bet you were you in the, what's the proper baller place in Dubai called, Trader Ed? The Burj Al Harab, isn't it? I think it's like $2,000 a night in there at the moment. They've got like gold. Has anybody in this room stayed in there before? I've never stayed there. I think it's 1,200 quid a night, the Burj Al Arab, with the place where they've got like 10 white Rolls Royces and stuff like that and a helicopter pad on the top. That looks proper baller. I'm surprised that Dan Legg's not been there, by the way. Or Astro haven't been there. I don't think they have. Actually, they have. Astro have been there. Because if you remember, guys, I don't know if you remember Tom Dante's video where he rung them up. And he was like, hello, is that Astro? And they're like, he's like, something about, he thought it was a pun, but they called him a cunt. Do you remember that video he did? I think that's the best video he's ever done, by the way. It was really good. But they were staying in the Burj Al Arab, weren't they, when he did it? I'm sure he did, and he had that Santa jumper on. That was so funny, that was. I really enjoyed that one. So yeah, the Astro have been there. That's stupid for me to have even thought that they hadn't been there. If there's £1,000 a night hotel, Astro have been there, alright? It's not even up for debate. Any of them in the world, they've done it. What's the best car you have sold, Mark, back in the day? Oh, I've sold some beauties, mate. Really, that was the best part of it. I would suggest my favourite, though. My favourite car I've ever sold was a Jensen Interceptor, Dave. I should have never sold it. It was a Jensen Interceptor. It was black, and the private reg on it was Cry 44k. What an amazing plate that would have been. I could have done with that one at the moment. Put on my car at the moment with how these markets are. It was gorgeous. It had done no miles as well. It was like 18,000 miles, loads of service history to it. And a guy just come in, he was in the army, who'd had it in a shed for ages. It needed a lot of work to it. And he had a Mercedes CLS 55 AMG off me. And he brought this Jensen Interceptor, and it was just the best thing ever. It was lovely. I had all the interior done in cream. It was gorgeous. So that's my favourite car. If I could pick any car to take back, it would be that one. And they're worth a fortune now. That must be like worth, I don't know, 70, 80k, something like that. It's worth good money. There's no short here for me, guys. No, I'm afraid. People are asking me what this white line is. This white line is it's off that daily low there. That's all. So it's not. I was pointing out yesterday, right, that if we got beneath this daily low, 15k, we're gonna shit the bed. So that's what it is, but it doesn't mean anything to my trading. That's my initial balance low there, that point, but I don't think it's going to mean anything today at all. We've lost the IB, guys, this morning. I'd be very surprised if we got back up there. Yeah, it was really nice, Dave. Really nice. It was lovely. They had the turtle shell boot on it. They've got like a turtle shell boot, the Jensens have. Just lovely. What a car. Drove like a bag of spanners though, because they do, the old cars do, don't they? They're not. It wasn't an enjoyable drive, but just to have it in the garage and look at it, special thing. Morning, Sierra. How are you doing, Sierra? Are you short? Are you short in here, Sierra? Have you got a short on? Yeah, I agree with you, Trader Ed, to be fair. It is nice to see the other side of it and go and stay somewhere where it's a bit, a bit more with it. You don't really see a lot, do you, in these expensive hotels? They're lovely when you're in them, but you don't really see the real side of a place, I suppose. You're just sort of, sectioned off, aren't you, like a VIP baller, drinking expensive cocktails. You don't really get out and see much, so, yeah, I agree with you. Did you go to the Gold Souks and stuff? It's good around there. No setup. No, I haven't had a setup. This is what the DAX does to you, though. It just straight lines. It's such a strange market. It never gives you a chance to get in. When it's actually going to make a big move, it's very, very rare that you'd get a proper, nice sort of entry point. I think the trade was today, once you got that close beneath 15k, you've just got to press short, I think. You've just got to close your eyes and sell it. I think that's a trade. Sometimes it's just off feel, even though you can't see a setup. You know it's going to go and probe down there, so you've just got to get short. I suppose this is the way that retail sort of traders think, though, isn't it? I'm not going to be that's how I think, I will always wait for a setup. I will always sort of need things to set up for me, to give me my sort of what I feel comfortable with. I would imagine if you're a proper ledge and you're at some big balls bank or something, you've just pressed sell this morning, you're just in the market and you sold it. You're not waiting for sort of retail sort of mechanical type things to happen before you'll trust yourself to get short. I imagine if you're a big boy this morning, you just think, fuck it, just press sell. How many can we get? Let's just sell it and see what happens. Why didn't you sell it when it broke down that range? What type of trader are you? Crash. A disciplined one, Crash. I'm a disciplined trader. If you want to come in here and just, you know, you're in every move, you're selling them all, let's go live with you, Crash. Let's come on here, big boy. You show me your entries. You tweet them to me now. You know my tweet, Crash. You know my Twitter account. Show me your entry short. Let's have a look at you. Let's see how big you are. Show me a proper brokerage account short. Show me your account size. Show me your position size. And show me your stop and your entry. DM me now, brother. I will put them on this chat for everybody else to see, Crash. Let's have a look at what you've got. Why didn't you sell it when it broke down then, big boy? That's the type of trader I am. So yeah, my DMs are open, Crash. Let's have a look at you. In fact, I'm going on there now. I'm only bantering with you, pal. I don't know. I haven't seen you in here before though. But same as saying, people are welcome to call out live trades. There's nothing wrong with losing. But it's hindsight trading, that is, isn't it? Why didn't you do this? Right, why didn't you do this? Well, I didn't do it because I didn't do it. Do you understand? That's how trading is, isn't it? Crash. I'm not trying to be a dick either, by the way, but it is what it is, isn't it? If we're all able to get on every move that's straight lines, we'd all be very rich, but we don't. It's just part of trading. Hopefully we'll get a pullback though. This is what I'm thinking, we're going to get a pullback. So currently I would need us to pull back to the 50 mark and take that spike high out here, this point, and then fake out through there. That could be a setup for me, right? So that high there, if we get through that high and fail, I will then try and take the rotation back down. Morning, Mark. And Crash, it is your first time in here, alright? And I'm not trying to be a dick, but when you're saying what type of trader are you for not selling something that broke down that range, which is not part of my strategy at all, you know, what, did you sell it? That's my whole point of it. Did you sell it? Did you make any money? Because if you did, DM it me. I will learn off you. I'll be way glad. Let me know how you've done it. Give me your stop, give me your entry, and give me your exit. DM me. That's what I mean by it. I'm eager to learn. I'm eager to be a ledge like everybody else seems to be. Let's see if we can get going up there. Hopefully, Dave. Hopefully. You can look at this day now, can't you, and think, right, we're way through ATR, right? But we've broken massive level to the downside, haven't we? So it wouldn't bother me with selling this in this region down here now, thinking that we could definitely go lower, because this would be a massive day. Didn't sell, unfortunately. Okay, Crash. Well, if you didn't sell, unfortunately, I didn't sell, unfortunately, either. Do you know what I mean? So you're saying to me, right, what type of trader are you? Yeah? Well, you didn't sell, unfortunately, as you just pointed out. So what type of trader are you? Oh, it's amazing. Hopefully we'll get a setup though. I'm hoping. You can see what I mean though about that, can't you guys? Like that's the high currently there for me. So I would need a trap through that level. That's how I try and see it all the time, and then a failure, and then obviously as then to go lower. The US markets look like absolute shite too. They really do. That's the big level in the US markets there, isn't it? Obviously, if we break that low, you could argue that they've been trying to save that level there, as you can see. They've been trying to save that, and they've tried it once, they've tried it twice, they've tried it 3 times, and then it looks like we're going to lose it now. So I would say that the important level for me isn't this low, this daily low. It's actually this low here, and because you can see from an, like clearly see that they've been trying to save that level. 1, 2, 3. If we get the daily close beneath that level, this thing's again like the DAX should unwind. It really should. That level there is key. So we could have a massive day on his hands here. Massive. Do you look at footprints in other order flow stuff? I don't, Lawrence, no. I used to when I was on the shorter time frame, pal, but with the 5-minute time frame now, it doesn't really add anything to my entries, I've found. You might think that it does though, and I do think obviously, it can add a lot to your trading if you're on a shorter time frame, and if you can sort of gain any type of edge from it. For me though, I found there was a lot to look at, and half the time with me, I find it's good if you're trying to trade reversals. I'm not a reversal trader. I always wanted to trade. I wanted to see a breakout, and then a pullback, and then a trap happen, and then expansion. And for me, it wouldn't. The delta and stuff like that would be more of a help when you were trying to trade a reversal, like where you were doing the opposite of what I was doing, if you know what I mean. And I found that half the time, it didn't really help me. It just gave me too much to look at, too much information to try and digest, and I would end up like in sort of information paralysis, if you know what I mean. Like, you wouldn't be able to make a decision because there was too many things that you were looking at all the time, and you would always be able to talk yourself out of taking a position because something wasn't quite right, and you wouldn't see the woods for the trees half the time, because you'd be looking, well, actually no, that just doesn't look quite right. The delta's not doing what it should do, but the bigger picture is like the market's moving in the way that you thought it would do. Trade what you see. Go back to that, what Mikos said. Trade what you see. And a lot of the time with the DOM and the delta and all of the footprints and stuff, you can see too much. And I'm a big believer in keeping everything as simple as possible, because I think the more things that you try and rely on or gain an edge from, you end up going around in circles a lot of the time. And when the shit hits the fan and you're in drawdown, you can guarantee that your brain needs something simple. So while it's all going great and it's all rosy, brilliant, delta, footprint, all that's fantastic. But when you actually go into drawdown and you like, let's say you lose 15% of your account, you're highly stressed. You can be emotional. There's too many things to look at, I think. So I just want to keep it as simple as possible for me. Lawrence, I hope that makes sense to you. You might be able to process it all. It might mean loads to you. You might make a massive edge from it, and you might see something. Where it can help though is it can help with little niches, Lawrence. It can give you a little niche, the DOM can, and the footprint charts. You can gain little niches, little market sort of rotations where you can, you open your eyes up to loads of little sort of fake outs, breakouts, and you can develop a massive playbook, and you might just take like one little setup from it and be able to gain a huge edge that you can get a good risk reward profile from and make money. But for me, I didn't need it. I just think for me it was just too much for my brain to process. If you're good with data and stuff like that, and you might be, I don't know, For me, my personality isn't like that. Too much data, too much of anything drives me a bit crazy. But if you're into all that, you might be a biologist or a scientist, or you might have done a degree at university where you're a mathematician and all stuff like this. I don't know. I'm not like that though. I'm just your average, typical, car trader, market trader, quite visual. I need to see it. I need to feel what's going on as well. But if you're into all numbers and stuff like that, I imagine it's fantastic, and you can make a massive edge out of it. But it just didn't work for me. Yeah. So you see the same. It's more useful on reversals, isn't it? Now, could I take something from that, Lawrence, and add that something to my trading, that when I see a reversal on the footprint happening, I don't get into my trades that I'm expecting an expansion for? I probably could, but I think it would end up causing me to lose sight of what I'm actually doing. Like, if something's working, why would you try and overcomplicate it? I think a lot of the time traders can do that. They're after, and I'm not saying that you're doing this, Lawrence, at all, by the way, because I'm not. But for me, I always have to sort of pull myself back with that. It's like I will always be trying to perfect something. I do suffer with that, where you're always trying to make your system as if like it's going to win every trade, and it's just not the case, is it? So I try and simplify it, and I don't want to overcomplicate things. And there's nothing out there that can give you a 100% win rate. And if what you're doing is working and you're getting good risk reward from it, just carry on and keep it simple. My daily routine. What time do you get up, etc. Trader Z. Trader Z. To be fair, bud, I have Henry, my little boy, 6, and he's up at 6 o'clock every morning. But the first thing I do is, like a crack addict, like we all are, is open IG up. Like, I'll get up, say hello, but I'll get onto IG and just see where we're opening up for me, just to see what's happened overnight. I woke up this morning thinking, oh my god, we've opened up. We're in this area here, and it just looked awful. I was thinking we're gonna shit the bed. But that's what I'll do. But I won't spend all morning on IG. Like, I'll just have a quick look at it, and then it's coffee for me. Coffee, and then maybe walk the dog, and then come back in and just have some. I don't have any breakfast, but my boy has some breakfast, so I'll sit with him while he has it. That's about it, really. And then jump on here. Well, I wasn't jumping on here before, but just jump in front of the computer. I will say this though, I do like to go. For me, I do like to go and do something. Like, at the moment in the UK, it's 9:23 here, right? I do try and get out and do something in the morning. You can do it if you're trading how I trade. You don't need to sit in front of the computer all the time. Do you miss the odd trade because of that? You do, right? I'm not going to deny that there's at some points where life gets in the way of my trading that, I can't. I'm not going to deny that maybe it has affected my overall win rate this year or my overall profit margin, but I do think that, you've got to be a special person to sit in front of the computers all day, every day, and not go slightly mad. You need to get out, you need to have some fresh air, you need to do something different. So I like, what's my perfect day is? My perfect day is getting in a position at around 10 o'clock. And once I'm in that position, around 10 to 10:30 to 11, I will go out and do something else. I will put an alert in where my stop is, and then I will leave it alone. And I'll have my phone and my MacBook on me, and I'll go and do something, like I'll go to the gym or I'll go for a run. Just get out of the house and do something different, because I find that once you're in the position, it's either going to stop you out. There's nothing that I can do at that point to sort of affect that position. Nothing. It's going to either do what it's going to do what it's going to do. The market is going to do what it's going to do. So you can either sit looking at it and try and micromanage it, and I guarantee if you do that, you'll end up tripping yourself over, because that's just what happens. Or you can be hands off and go and enjoy your life. And that's why I've got this strategy, how I trade the market. I designed it to sort of not be, on the shorter time frames where you've got to sit there all day. So that's how I do it. And it might be wrong, it might not make sense. You guys might not like that. If you're 3 or 4 years into your trading journey, you probably do want to sit there all day and watch it, because I did. But I'm like 11 years in now, and it's just like, I've found that the more I try and affect what's going to happen by sitting here and micromanaging something, I end up not making any money. Yes, so that's about it, guys, right? Woolongabba, right? Sorry, I don't think you are invisible, pal. Sorry, I didn't see it. I've just been talking. Let me see. So you're a quant trader, right? So if you're a quant trader, you're measuring a lot, and then you're back testing it, and you've got patterns in maths, right? Okay. I didn't know you were a quant trader, Woolongabba. Sorry, I wasn't trying to be rude or ignore anybody, by the way. I was just talking. What is footprint, Jack Olofsson? Footprint is, it's like where you see it on, it's like the footprint of the market, so you can see the orders that are going through the market at any one time and what's been brought and sold at each level. If you want to know what footprint is, the best thing I can say to you is just go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and put it in. I think Market Delta is a company that do it. I think Sierra do it as well, but you have to pay for the extra data off them. So just go on YouTube and have a look at it. It might be a massive help to some people, but it might not be. Yeah, Steve, that's what I try and do. Just keep your mind fresh. To me, mindset is everything. If you can keep your head fresh, I find that, same as say, I'm not going to lie to you, I aren't the perfect trader, guys. I really aren't. I'll admit it. I aren't the perfect trader. I don't think the perfect trader exists, and I'm highly likely. This is why I go out and do something else. Really, I'm just highly likely to do something stupid. I'm not going to deny it. Like, I will do loads of things that are stupid if I'm sat watching the market when I'm in a trade. I'm not going to deny it. You know, you do. You think that you can be short and you can have a fantastic position, and you'll see one green candle or a pin bar and you'll think, oh God, you know, I've got to get out of this. I did it the other week. I make mistakes all the time. I've said to you that somebody said to me the other day, are you not bothered about anybody getting your strategy? And I'm like, well, good luck to them, because I can't even trade it right. I trade it like an absolute dick most of the weeks. I do. I always get it wrong. I'm not afraid to admit that. I aren't the perfect trader. They're just not out there. No, everybody makes mistakes. If you can stick to a strategy 100% of the time, every day of the week, every month of the year, then you are an absolute ledge. I trip myself up loads of times, so that's why I do it. If I get an entry, I tend to just get away from the computer and put an alert in for my stop. It is what it is. I can't deny that I will try and do silly things, because it just happens, doesn't it? It's human emotion, isn't it? You know, you'll be on side and you'll see something that affects that bias, and then your position will go back to break even, and you'll think, I need to get out. I've got to get out. This isn't working. But it could just be like a little pullback, you know, a very small pullback that's just perfectly fine to happen. You know, like, most of my trades that I take won't just go straight, you know, like within like 2 or 3 hour up. You know, they chop around, they come back in to go back out of profit. But the bias is still that if we've broken the low of the initial balance and we're below it, that we're going to stay that way. And I find that I trip myself up. So that's why I do it more than anything, really. So this is a spike high here, right? So we could say that if we push up through there and then we rotate back through it, there'd be a short for me. You see that high there? This one. If we push through it and then we close back into this range here, so a push through and then a roll over, you could argue that we could potentially go lower. It's an interesting day now, because obviously we've had the main move, haven't we? So if you're trying to get short now from a probability perspective, is you've got to expect another leg lower. That's what I'm playing for. Whereas everybody else is thinking that the move's done and we're going to push back up. But from my perspective, as you see this leg here, this down leg, that looks to me like it's all one leg, doesn't it? So that looks like one leg. You could argue that we've seen a few sort of pushes up, but we haven't seen what I would call a reversal from that leg yet. This could be it here. But if we fail here, if we fail to go back up here and we roll over here, I would suggest that we could have another leg down like that from this point here down into 4700. So the failure of these guys here to turn us back up and push us back up so that this price action here can be reversed would mean that the likely outcome to me would be an expansion down to the downside, and we could have another leg down. You might look at that now and think, Jesus Christ, there's no way we could get down there, but it could happen because this leg here looks like I call it an impulsive leg. It looks impulsive, doesn't it? Now we get an impulsive move, consolidation, impulsive move, and go. A bit like an A, B, C equals D, I would look at it like. So yeah, that's about it for me, guys. Yeah, exactly. What's the best way to get into trading, Youssef? Youssef, I would suggest there's no way to get into trading. There's no right or wrong way anyway, but just have a look at the markets every day and see if you like what you're seeing and see if you can make something of it. First of all, you've got to just obviously look at the markets every day. Start by doing that, and then open a demo account up, and then go from there. I would suggest though, if you're just starting off your journey, just do as much research as you can. Read trading books, watch videos on YouTube about the markets, and see if it's something that you want to get involved in first of all. And stay away from the short-term stuff, Youssef. If you're just starting out, keep away from that. Just stick to like 1 hour, 4 hour and daily time frames, I would suggest, and above there. But good luck to you, pal. I wish you all the best on your trading journey. Yeah, you could do. You could give someone the best strategy in the world, and someone would. Not 80% of people wouldn't be able to execute it properly. They wouldn't. The problem with trading is, I think, that people get caught out with the loss sequences. I think that's the killer. People can't ever imagine that you could have like 8, 9, 10 losing trades on a run, and most people cave at that point. Most people do. It's human emotion, isn't it? And if you try something every day and you lose for 10 days on a run, you're probably going to stop doing it. That's the most tough thing in the world when you go on a losing run. That is really tough to deal with. And a lot of time people jump ship and they'll go from trading a breakout strategy to a reversal strategy, normally at the exact point that it stops, like that stops working, and you get sort of stuck in this perpetual doom loop. And it's just about sticking with something, but it's so hard to do. It's the hardest thing in the world. You keep losing money day after day after day, and to carry on doing it and to get up and it to have not affect you mentally, it's really, really tough. You don't want to do it. You don't. Liam, so you're looking at short below 881, are you? I get you. I can see what you're thinking, dude. No setup for me yet, though. Possibly I could be short here. Possibly. But there's no setup for me yet. It's got to be worth a crack, though, hasn't it? I would suggest. But that to me there looks like one fresh leg. So I would suggest that if we pull back into here and we roll back over, we're going to have another leg down. From an ideal standpoint, I would like a move higher up and then to roll back down. Why do I say that? Well, it just gives me a bit more room into these lows here, so I feel a bit more safer doing it. I never feel safe for some reason when I'm shorting lows, but half the time, the trades that I take where I feel like you're just an idiot for even thinking about taking it, they tend to be the ones that run. So take of that what you will. I'm thinking, all right, I need a pullback up here, and then on the rollover, I would be thinking short. But the market, if it gives me that, more than likely I'll get stopped out. Because I've said before to you, the ones that look the best on the DAX, they tend to be the traps. The ones where you think, what the hell am I doing selling this here for? I'm going to get my arse handed to me. Like, they're the ones that straight away, bang, like 1R, 2R, you're in 2R profit straight away. And then they tend to be the most comfortable trades to be in then for the rest of the day. Because everybody's caught offside, aren't they? Think about it like this, right? If you're thinking that you feel safe taking this trade, then everybody's thinking that they feel safe taking that trade. And highly likely, if everybody's thinking something, everybody's wrong with the markets. We know this, don't we? So that's how I think about it. The most brain-dead trades, where you're just shorting lows and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get stopped out straight away, they tend to be the ones that go. Because they catch everybody offside. Nobody's prepared to take that trade into them lows. Most people are thinking, like you, they don't want to take it. They don't want to go near it. I'll wait for a pullback, a big pullback, one where I feel safe. Well, on them pullbacks, they're the ones that tend to just keep on coming straight through you, in my experience. Are you long, Sierra? Call it out, Sierra. What are you doing? Let me know. Where are you thinking? It's cool, man. It doesn't matter, does it, at the end of the day? It's just risk reward, Sierra. But where's your entry? What's your stop? What's your entry? He's got to be on the shorter time frame, hasn't he? Let's have a look. See, that there would have been a nice trade for me on the older way of trading. You see how we went through that level there and then we closed straight back through it. That one, like that. I'd be looking at that as a major trap. So for me, that would have been my risk reward there. My entry would have been at the low of that candle. My stop would have been at the top of it. And I would have entered like that. So this here would have been my stop box, my risk box. And my first target would have been these lows here. Can you see from a technical perspective? 1, we broke through balance. 2, we've got downside momentum. 3, we go through a high here and we close back beneath it here with this big, I call them a fuck you candle. I know I'm saying it. You can still hear it even though I'm only whispering it, so I don't know why I'm doing that. Maybe it's because I'm swearing and I don't want to. But this here, right? This candle would have been the trade for me. No indicators, no nothing on that one. Just the basic premise that if we've been through this high and then these guys here who've brought through this high and we've not continued higher and straight away we're hammered back down on a day that feels very sort of momentum to the downside, then I'd suggest that everybody in this leg up is wrong and they're going to get the stop out. Where's their stop? It's beneath this low here. So your risk would have been at 53, your entry would have been at 37, and you would have made a decent sized amount of R there. As you can see, I think you would have been like 3R maybe into that low. Like so. Can you see that setup? From a technical perspective, that was a lovely setup. This thing's going to make me sell lows here. We're still making resistance, not support. Can you see that there is resistance in the market, isn't it? You would say that we've had a go at it, we've closed back through it. So I would think technically we're gonna come down here now from a technical point. Liam says this leg up is a trap. Could be, Liam. For me, I look at this level here. It's so important to me now how I trade this level, this one. And I tell you all the time about these spikes of liquidity like that above. They set the current micro trend. If we get above one of them and we fail, it's highly likely that we're gonna test these lows. You can see that we had a push above this one here. We're gonna test them lows if it fails. And this one here, right? You can see that we've pushed above it and we've failed again. Now the probability is there that we're gonna test these lows now. Can you be wrong? Yes. Could we just go straight back above? Yes, obviously, but that's how I look at it. The failure to get back above and reclaim these highs here and push through it means that the only other outcome really is to auction lower again. The minute that we get back above this level here, I'm very careful with my shorts, and I then need another trap to set up, and then it's to roll over from there to get short. Nick, what are you saying, Nick? Let me roll. What's your EMA cross Sierra? Is it? Can't you tell us what EMAs you're using, pal? I don't think. I think all EMAs work. So I'm not trying to like take the piss or anything, because I do think that EMAs work in the right context. I think they all work, but I just find it funny how people always use like I like to use the 20 and the 5. Mine always have to end with a 5 because 5's my lucky number. So but I do think they all work, don't they? I just find it. I like it. I'm interested in seeing what EMA's numbers people pick. I used to know somebody who used to pick the 69. He'd always trade with the 69 and 69. Like, a bit perverted, but if it works, it works, doesn't it, at the end of the day? What a smutty geezer picking the 69 EMA cross. Right, so you're on the 8v34 on the 5 min. Alright, dude. Do they mean anything to you? 8 and 34. Why have you picked them? Do they mean something to you, Sierra? Or is it just something that you've seen that you like the look of? You don't set a hard price action stop, right? Okay. That's a little nuance there then. Nick saying second entry on 9:31 candle close, Mark. Yeah, Mark Wogan's got his favourite 7s and 21. It is just personal preference, isn't it? I don't know why, but everybody's got their own favourites. I always ask everybody if they use moving averages. What numbers are you? What's your? What do you specialise in? I specialise in the 5, 15, and 25. Let's have a look at the 9:31 candle. Oh, right, I know what he's saying actually. He's saying that would you be entering there on that shorter time frame? Like so. You know what? Probably would have done, yeah. I can see the exact setup that you mean, Nick. This doji here probably would have got me in and my stop would have been above there. And I'd be expecting us to at least go and test these guys or these guys stop here. Let me tell you a little secret about the DAX though, and how the price action works on a shorter time frame. And I don't know who this can help. It's a bit guru-y though, and you might think I'm just talking absolute rubbish. But it tends to have 3 waves down, and the third wave is the one that causes you trouble if you're trying to go get short. That's when it messes around, and it tends to be at this time. You tend to have 3 waves down, or 3 attempts down at pushing the market down. 1, 2, 3. Now on the third wave, I would always find that I would always be battling. I would normally get stopped out and normally take another stop. The first and second wave, if you're hitting a short on the 1 minute time frame, they tend to be the easiest sort of rotations to take. And I would look at it like this as being, I would suggest that this is one wave, this is a second wave, and this is the third wave now. Where if you roll down here, you're going to go down, but it would be like the third sort of attempt to try and push the market back up. And it doesn't have to look like a wave. It just means that someone's trying to push it back up. And I would say that this is 1, this is 2, and this is your third wave. And I always found that the third waves are the ones where I would start losing money. I would start taking stop outs and giving some back. Now it's completely different on the 5-minute time frame, but I'm just talking about from on the 1-minute time frame. I think it's more a period of time. The market's gone in a straight line for the first hour and a half of the day, from the cash open, and it just by 9 o'clock, 9:30, I just think it's it tries to work out what it's going to do next. It needs to consolidate, it needs to regroup and think, are we going to go lower, or are we going to try and gather some momentum and have a push higher? So it's more like a time thing. And I've seen on the DAX, if you go onto a 1-minute time frame on a trend day, from European cash open to the American open, you'll see that there's normally 3 waves, and the third wave is the trickiest one. So I'm not saying that I wouldn't have taken this, probably would have, definitely. My stop would have been just above that doji candle high there. And you can get the problem with the thing is with that strategy is you get a lot of setups. But it's about the day type that means more than anything with the setup. If you're trading it on a day where you've got a clean break of balance with a tight balance, because you have to remember this morning, guys, we have a relatively tight balance, really. And you get the flush through balance with a clean break, then that strategy which I've just shown you is on. If you go through a high and reverse straight away, or you get a doji or a pin through that high, it's highly likely that this low here is going to get probed. You failed, haven't you? You failed to go higher. So it's not really guesswork. Like the market's telling you that it's failed to go higher. Probability is we're going to go lower. Now, don't get me wrong, you've seen loads of times where this will happen. You get this candle or you get this pin, we consolidate underneath this low, and then we push through it and you get stopped out. But that happens, doesn't it? It's just part of trading. You're going to get them losing trades. But when you get like these nice big risk reward profiles where I think that's like a 3-to-1 or 3.5-to-1 to this low, it's a decent trading strategy. It's how I used to trade that, by the way. Potentially something setting up here. It's going to have me selling lows though. "48 minutes. See where we're going to put a stop. So from the perspective of this trade, right, if we do get filled on a short here, you could argue, couldn't you, that as long as we stay like, where's the market? Where would you think that if we got back above the market's going to reverse, like make a reversal point from? You would suggest that if we got back above this high here at 931, that we probably were likely to reverse, go back up, because this level here now means something to me. That's the last spike high, so this is going to be touch and go where we get an entry here. So I would put my stop there. I'm going to be in the market there. Let me just check my risk is right. Yeah. Now, do I know where the hell this thing is going to go? No. Could it just go back above there and stop me out? Yep. But I'm in. Got to take that one, guys. Selling right into the low like a turd. It is what it is. We've got to take that punt. I just like the fact that we haven't reclaimed that high there. We've had new momentum to the downside, and like I said to you, if this is one leg, I can see that there's potential huge R there for us if this does crack off. Look at that. That's how I would be framing that trade there today. And as we get back into this level at 800, I'd be scalping some at 800, I'd be scalping some at 700 as we hit into 7. Now, can it just go straight back above there in reverse? Yes. I will say this though, because I will probably call it a day here. If we get back above here and I get stopped out, I would, on a day like today, I would definitely take another entry, okay? Because I just think that it's there for us, especially if we roll over. If we go back up there and stop me out, if we roll over again and we go through that high and we roll over, something like that, we close through that high with a spike, say it spikes me out, which could happen to be fair today. We go and take that high out and fail there. If we roll over there at that point, I will then be short again. So I'll take 2 punts at this today. But yeah, I'm in short. So we'll see. Yeah, my stop's going to go at 9.32. I think that's okay. The problem that you've got is, I'm getting pressured here. The problem that you've got is that this high here could still fail. And we could still go through that high and rotate back lower. So I'll take another stab at it at the end of the day. It is what it is. It's a trade, guys. It's just a trade. Just got to let it be. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go and have a cup of tea now anyway downstairs. But thank you everybody. Trader Zed's long. I heard. You know what, Trader Zed? You might well have picked the bottom, pal. I wish you all the well, and I wish you profits, Trader Zed. But I hope that you just make enough profit just so that I don't get stopped out and you make some money and then I make some money. Is that fair? That's fair, isn't it, Trader Zed? We'll see, guys. Who knows, though? It's just a trade, isn't it? It's just a trade. It's just one trade at the end of the day. So you're going long as well, are you, Dave? Go for it, chaps. Honestly. In my vein of form at the moment, you might be better off fading me. Who knows? It's one of them. I hope he does. Hopefully, though, pal, we can both make money. That's what we want, Trader Zed. I hope that you can make money and I can make money at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm gonna get off now because my voice is going. I'm gonna go and do this COVID test and have a look, see what's going on. Getting stopped out and then getting a positive COVID test at the same time on the same day. I could have sold the low though, you know, Trader Zed, but this is it, right? This is it. I could have sold the low. I did the other week. I sold the high. I sold the high the other week. Do you remember on that Monday? Yeah. So it happens, but this is it. This is the trade. We'll see. Hopefully we'll all be right. Hopefully we'll be all be right, won't we, guys? That's what I'm hoping for. Hopefully we can all make it. But I'll get off now. Have a good day. I wish you all a profitable day, and I will be back tomorrow to report how it's gone. But don't be surprised if I've taken another entry if I get stopped out today. I'll give it a shot. So we'll see what happens. But wish you all the best and have a good day. Take care. And I'm checking out now. Have a profitable day. Thank you for checking in.